And Shalom, Kal Halai Hal Bashem Yahushai. This is Abhor from Sakari. I want to give honors to my elders in Sakari, chief priest, deacon, and officers. Shout out to all the Akim, soldiers and officers putting in that work. Alright. I'm making this video on Deuteronomy 23:7. It says, right, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. Right, because some jakes are going around afraid of Esau, so they're making strange doctrines because they're afraid of what Esau is going to do to them if you bring out the truth on, which we're supposed to be bringing out the truth on Esau in these last days. Right. These last days we're supposed to be bringing out the truth on Esau, but I'm mainly going to show how they got that doctrine twisted. The doctrine doesn't make any sense. Right. 2 Thessalonians, these guys don't want the kingdom to come. Alright. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for the day shall not come. That day it's talking about is the day when Yahushua HaMashiach comes back to save the children of Israel. Right? The elect, the 1/3. So that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. The falling away was us losing our nationality, our heritage, and our customs, and forgetting who we are and who our God is. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Right? So we have to reveal these Edomites. We have to call them out. And that's a part of prophecy, to call them out, the son of perdition. Right? The man of sin is going around destroying the earth, sinning everywhere, accusing us towards the Most High. Right? Polluting everything, destroying everything. Blaspheming the Most High's name. You guys afraid to call him out for his wickedness? Right? That's what these guys are. They're afraid. And all these Israelites that ever say something like this, always sitting up in their house, not doing anything. You guys ain't sitting up in your house, just chilling, eating some Cheetos, watching YouTube videos, and then you ain't going out on the highways and byways, putting in any work in the street. They're chilling, not doing nothing. And you get a little scared when you see an Israelite cussing out an Edomite for his wickedness. You're looking for doctrines to try and say you can't hate an Edomite. Well, I'm not even sorry, but you can hate Edomites. You can hate the people that oppress your people and that are your enemies. Right? It says 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, for the Most High hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You got these Israelites are afraid out here. So that's why they're trying to come up with some doctrine talking about thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. Alright, so first and foremost, let's go to Amos 5 and 15 and try to make this quick. So Amos 5 chapter 15, and it says, hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that Yahweh, power of hosts, will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. Right? So you're supposed to hate evil and love good. Right? So you, first and foremost, the so-called white man, the Edomites, Esau, Edom, the red Hebrew Edomites, they're evil, and their actions and their works are evil. So you're supposed to hate. If you're supposed to hate evil, then that means you can hate them, according to Amos. Let's get another precept. Alright, just to start it off. Alright, Proverbs 8 and 13. It says, the fear of the Most High is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. So the Most High hates. So the Most High hates evil. He hates prideful people, which that was going into in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Right? The evil way, the wicked works, homosexuality. That's what they call this place, Sodom and Gomorrah in Egypt. Right? So the Most High even hates. So let's even get how the Most High hates Edomites. Right? So Romans 9 and 13. And then we're gonna go into examples to show you the holy prophets. The Edomites. Also, I didn't say they were going off, but now all of a sudden, 2019, we're going off for hating Edomites, right? You guys afraid? You got the spirit of fear on you, and the Most High is not dealing with you. It's in Romans chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Right? So the Most High God loves Jacob, the 12 tribes, the blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and he hates the so-called white man who are the Edomites, who's Esau. Right? So how come the Most High can hate him but you can't? When the Most High tells you to hate the evil and love the good. Right? Let's go in Malachi. It's Malachi 1 and 1. It's in Malachi 1 verse 2. I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? It was not Esau, Jacob's brother, saith Yahweh, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. So the Most High God hates Esau, the whole nation of the Edomites, right, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, which this heritage is ultimately talking about Babylon, America, which is gonna be burnt by nuclear missiles, and it's gonna be a waste for forever, right? Verse 4, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. So this is the Most High said they're the border of the wickedness, the epitome of wickedness, which is another word for evil, synonymous word for evil, and the people who the Most High God hates forever. So how are you telling me you can't hate an Edomite, right? So now let's see what happened to somebody who didn't hate the Edomites, right? We'll go to our first king, which was Saul. Saul didn't hate those Edomites. He didn't hate the Amalekites. So let's see what happened to him. He had the spirit of fear on him. He was wicked. He was being wicked. Alright? Here's it. Let me put first Samuel. There it is. 1 Samuel 15. Alright. It's 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 2. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Right? So first and foremost, for those scoffers talking about, oh yeah, this guy's just trying to go to scriptures and say Amalek ain't Edomites. You guys don't know anything. Because Amalek is a tribe of the Edomites. Right? This is Genesis 36 and 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Right? Verse 8, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generation of Esau, father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. Right? Verse 12, and Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. Okay? So Amalek is a grandson, and a son of Esau. Alright, so he's a descendant from Esau, and that's a whole tribe and nation of the Edomite. Whole tribe of the Edomites came out of him. Right, so Most High is being specific about this tribe, because Esau had a lot of other sons too. Right, verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. Right, verse 4. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. Right, so the Most High commanded Paul to exterminate the Amalekites. Right, and Paul gathered himself together. Right, verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. And Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen, of the fatlings and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was violent refused, that they destroyed utterly. So if Saul didn't destroy everything, he even took their lambs and their king, right, and their animals, but they didn't utterly destroy them, which is to completely wipe them out. Verse 10, then came the, now let's see how the Most High felt about Saul not exterminating a tribe of Esau, the people that he hates forever. Verse 10, then came the word of the Most High unto Samuel, saying, it repented me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me. See, he's turned back from following me. He wasn't thinking like the Most High. He didn't want to hate and destroy the Amalekites. The Most High hates and destroys the Amalekites. It don't matter if Saul didn't care about wanting to destroy them or not. He's supposed to do what the Most High says, right? Acts 5:29 says we ought to obey the Most High rather than man, right? And hath not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahweh all night. Right, so the Most High was upset that Saul did not exterminate the Amalekites. It's a prophecy that the Amalekites are supposed to be destroyed. Talking about you can't hate no Edomites. Y'all ain't reading the scriptures. Y'all ain't studying. You're just scared, like Saul. You rebellious like Saul. Right, verse 17. Numbers 24:17, I shall see him but not now, I shall behold him but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. It shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. As you know, you have to understand that the Amalekites are the so-called Jewish Israelis, the Khazars, the fake Jews today. They're the first of the nations, but they're the top nation on the face of the earth right now. But his latter end shall be that he perisheth forever. Right? So ultimately they're gonna be exterminated. Right? So the Most High hates these Edomites. Right, now before we get some examples of righteous men hating Edomites, which people saying is being wicked, which the scripture says is not being wicked, let's go to Amos. Let's go to the book of Amos again. Right? Because the Most High gave judgment on Esau and the Egyptians. Right? And he said he's not going to turn it back. This is Amos chapter 1 verse 9. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, which is a place in Philistines land. It belongs to Ham, right? So this is regarding the Hamites. And for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Okay. The punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remember not the brotherly covenant. Remember that brotherly covenant we were talking about, Deuteronomy 23:7, right? Right? We're Esau was supposed to be our brother, and we were strangers in Egypt, right? But verse 10, but I will send a fire. But understand, like, we have to go back and say, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom. So the Most High had is a judgment on them that he's not going to turn back no more. Right? So even if we weren't allowed to hate him, we definitely can hate him now, because the Most High said he ain't going to turn back. They didn't remember the brotherly covenant, so he ain't going to turn back the punishment on them. And remember not the brotherly covenant. Verse 10, but I will send a fire on the wall of Tyrus, which shall devour the places thereof. Verse 11, thus saith the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon man, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. Okay? So the Most High is not going to turn back the punishment anymore. He's not going to turn back the punishment anymore. Right? If we can't hate an Edomite, then how is Ezekiel 25 supposed to come to pass? Ezekiel 25 verse 12. Thus saith Yahweh power, because because that Edom hath dwelt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore thus saith the Most High Power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I'll make it desolate from to man, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. Now these fearful Israelites are going to be like, oh, the Most High said he's going to cut off man and beast. The Most High is going to take the vengeance himself. All right, let's see. Verse 14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger. So we're going to be angry at the Edomites when we're taking vengeance on them, and according to my fury, right? And they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh Power. Now the Most High hates Edomites, right? The Most High is angry at the Edomites more than we could ever be. The Most High hates them. So he's going to use us to deliver his hatred on them. So you're talking about Israelites are not allowed to hate Edomites. But the Most High said he's going to put his anger on his people to judge the Edomites, to take vengeance on them. So that would be contradicting Deuteronomy 23:7 according to you guys. Right? Let's get Psalm 139, verse 21. This is David speaking. It says 139 verse 21, do not I hate them, O Most High, that hate thee, and am not I grieved with these that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred, I count them mine enemies. So David hates what the Most High hates. He hates people, he hates the Most High's enemies, right? And let's see what the Most High God said about David compared to his own son Solomon. The Most High had a heart. The Most High thought like David thought like the Most High, and he was righteous for it. But these Israelites are trying to tell you that Deuteronomy 23:7, trying to make a doctrine out of it, saying you can't abhor an Edomite, which the translation is going back to Assyrian anyways, right? And it says to do abominably, but anyway. We're just going to keep going to show you how you can, in fact, hate Edomites, and that they obviously just don't have any understanding. Right? This is 1 Kings. This is after Deuteronomy. This is 1 Kings 11, verse 4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wife turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Most High's power, as was the heart of David his father. So the Most High, Most High said David's heart was perfect. David's heart was perfect, right? But Solomon's wasn't. So let's see. David done said he hates what the Most High hates. He counts them as enemies. The Most High hates Amalekites. He hates the heathen. Right? Let's see what David did to the Edomites. Alright? Let's get 1 Kings 11 and 17. Nice lot. First Kings 11 and 15. Right? For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom for 6 months, did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom. Right? So David was in Edom killing these Edomites. Right? Let's get First Chronicles. There's an account in Chronicles, right, when David was killing these Edomites. Right. This is First Chronicles 18 and 12. Moreover, Abishai the son of Zeruiah slew of the Edomites in the valley of Salt 18,000, and he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Thus the Most High preserved David whithersoever he went. So David was also putting Edomites into slavery, right? The Most High didn't say he was being wicked for it. 14:7. Where's that one where David like knocked out some. Alright, Second Chronicles 25 and 12. I think that one's pretty good. Alright. So this is Second Chronicles 25 verse 12. And Amaziah strengthened himself and led forth his people and went to the valley of Salt and smote the children of Seir 10,000. And other 10,000 left alive did the children of Judah carry away captive, and brought them unto the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, that they were all broken in pieces. Right? So these Edomites were getting jacked up back in the day. You know, account say you can't hate Edomites when the Israelites were putting Edomites into slavery. And we tell them the Edomites are going to go into slavery, but nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's Jeremiah 28 and 8. You can't do that. You guys are afraid. Let's grow some balls. Man, you guys are sitting there in your house anyways. You're not doing nothing. What are you so afraid of? This is Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. These prophets were standing up tall for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, going up against the powers that were the nations that were in power back then. Right? These people could have killed them on the streets anytime they wanted to. The same thing you see with the servants and the prophets on the street corners now, but you guys talking about Deuteronomy 23:7 up in your houses. Nobody knows you. Nobody sees your face. You ain't teaching nobody. You afraid? What are you so afraid of? You just sitting there in your house not eating Cheetos all damn day, right? And against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So man, it's telling these nations of war, telling you war's gonna happen, wickedness is gonna happen to you, and pestilence. But yo, you can't do that. Y'all ain't teaching right. Y'all ain't teaching right. Y'all ain't even teaching at all. Go out and do it yourself and show everybody how it's done. Show everybody how it's done. Right? This is Psalms 40 and 8. I delight to do thy will, O my power. Yeah, thy laws within my heart. David said he delights to do the will of the Most High. What's the will of the Most High? To exterminate them Edomites, ultimately. Right? You get Obadiah 1 and 18. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. So look. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High hath spoken it. So there's not going to be any Edomites remaining. Okay? You can hate Edomites. David hated Edomites. The count of people you see not hating Edomites, they get jacked up. The Most High gets mad at them. They always get jacked up. Okay? Ain't doing nothing. Could have sworn there was an account where it said David commanded somebody to throw them Edomites off the cliff, but all right. So with that, I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Shalom.